When you listen and read about several VR hardware conversations, the discussion usually covers familiar terms like resolution, sharpness, or contrast. But VR isn't only defined with VR glasses and its graphical aspects. There are several hardware gadgets who can also be called as a major role in a VR experience. Thanks to a haptic vest, for example, it is possible to experience VR not only as a visual experience. The company bHaptics has set physical immersion as its goal and offers the most comprehensive haptic product to date for arcades and home users. Although there are other products that promise similar properties, but not with the same scope and design as bHaptics has available for purchase. The haptic vest has a very similar shape to a bulletproof Kevlar vest and provides a total amount of 40 independent motors integrated into the front and the back, so you can feel a virtual experience on your own body. For even more immersion, bHaptics offers additional motorized optional accessories to make the experience even more intense than ever before. In this review, I present you the complete kit from bHaptics and go into the individual focal points. At the end, I give you my conclusion as usual. Installation. The initial setup and preparation for the vest uses many familiar features of commercially available electrical hardware. As a first step, the vest must be connected to the power supply via the supplied USB-C cable to charge the integrated battery. The charging time is up to 5 hours and the vest will last up to 15 hours. Therefore, it is recommended to charge the vest already in the morning or the night before. The next step is to install the in-house software, which you have to download from the bHaptics website. This software not only establishes the connection between the PC and the vest, but also determines whether the vest can be featured via a native signal or via the audio signal by your sound card. Since the vest works wirelessly, the additionally supplied Bluetooth dongle has to be connected via USB 2.0 to the PC. By switching on the vest and clicking on pairing the software, the connection between your PC and the vest gets established. With a further click on the ping button, a short vibration on the vest confirms that the successful pairing and the installation has been finished. For future sessions, only the software and the vest have to be started. Repairing is no longer necessary unless more vests or new accessories are added. For those who'd like to demonstrate their equipment at friends without taking all their computer equipment with them, the bHaptics app for Android and iOS is available for free download in the App Store. It allows the vest to be connected to the smartphone via Bluetooth to set individual vibration values for all kinds of effects like explosions, gunshots, or other impacts. Accessories. Because VR should be as user-friendly as possible, bHaptics decided against a complete bodysuit. Instead, additional equipment for hands, arms, feet and face is optional available. The amount of motors in comparison to the vest is shorter, but the amount has been adapted to the respective body parts. The foot and hand area has 3, and the arm and face area has up to 6 motors, which are also independently like those of the vest. Each accessory can be connected to the PC via Bluetooth like the vest and ships with a Bluetooth dongle and a USB charging cable. Washable inserts are not included with the accessories, but the motor cover sheets can be removed to clean dirty spots. The integrated rechargeable batteries also come with a charging time of approximately 5 hours, but promise different run times. 8.5 for the face, 18.5 for arms, and almost 37 hours for hands and feet. The battery of the face pad is the only one that is outside the motor electronics and must be attached to the VR glasses. Furthermore, in the scope of delivery of the other accessories, there are additional mounts for Vive trackers to get the best immersion of your VR experience. Comfort and finish. To put on the vest is pretty similar to put on a normal piece of clothing. Since the vest is sleeveless, it is possible to put it on and take it off in a very short time without wasting much time. For VR arcades, this is advantageous to ensure a quick change of players. The Velcro belt around the waist determines the size when worn for the first time. For future dressing, as long as the size is not changed, only the zipper can be used for closing. As for comfort, the design has been well thought over by bHaptics to give the user a good feeling despite the motors. Although there is not much fabric between the built-in motors and their cables, the vest does not feel uncomfortable in any way. Any pressure applied to motors is only noticeable when the vest is vibrating. As for the fabric of the vest itself, it is made of very high quality, slightly stretchy and adapts to the shape of the body. Open seams and bumps are hard to find, and this makes the vest in its six-pack design look awesome. Only the battery, which stick out from the fabric at the back, could have been incorporated even more, although the idea was probably rejected on purpose to ensure short run times for the replacement or repair of the battery. What wasn't available in the dev kit version at that time is the exchangeable badge with Velcro, which is now available in the consumer version. This allows companies and gaming clans to add their own logos and emblems to the vest without deforming the vest. As far as the finish and comfort of the additional body parts are concerned, they are comparable to the vest. The only thing what bothers are the marks on the skin if you gave them too much tension. After using the face pad, possible imprints on the forehead may occur as well. The reason for this is the slightly thicker face pad, which cannot be shaped properly because of the integrated motors. Therefore, it is very difficult to insert into the faceplate. Some smaller motors or slightly thinner fabric might help the whole thing. As for potential soiling, it is possible that the vest and its accessories, despite the dark design, could be damaged by greasy fingers or dust particles. In this case, unfortunately, the vest is not washable due to their electronics and should be stowed away after use. Similar to sportwear, but for sweat and to maintain freshness, the vest provides replaceable inserts with Velcro which are suitable for washing machines. Further, additional inlays can be purchased optionally in the shop. Compatibility. You wouldn't believe it, but for all the PC VR glasses, as well as for the Oculus Quest and PlayStation VR, the compatibility is guaranteed. For the PlayStation VR, however, only met by ditchers and not in native forms. For those who want to experience VR without native support, the bHaptics player offers pre-programmed audio profiles for already known VR games. Each of these profiles can be changed and adapted according to your wishes. For missing profiles, you can create and save your own profiles in the editor. In addition to games, there is even the possibility of using the haptic player software to create complete film scenes of a movie with haptic feedback by creating individual profiles per scene and running them together during the movie. Combined with VR glasses and a 3D movie, you basically achieve to have your own 4D cinema. Because the Oculus Quest already has a built-in Bluetooth dongle, it's an easy way to connect the vest for native experiences. However, this is not done with additional software, but with a driver as long as the developer has included it as an integrated part of the Oculus Quest experience. This means the Oculus Quest variant only works natively. If you still want to enjoy the haptic pleasure of a non-native VR experience, you may connect your sound system to a PC or laptop with installed bHaptics software and stream the audio to the vest via Bluetooth. With these audio solutions, bHaptics can also be operated with the PlayStation VR. A link to the audio tutorial can be found in the description below. Native or audio. Since the bHaptics hardware does not directly stimulate our muscles, it is clear that it cannot simulate G-forces. Even touches like the ones in Ready Player One are not quite as intense because bHaptics is primarily about vibration and not about pressure with resistance. Nevertheless, the possibility of programming each individual motor independently of each other allows us to enter a deeper immersion than ever. If a developer were to get really deep into the software, it would be possible to feel a shot impact on your body, knowing from which direction we were hit, with a different effect for each caliber. Another example would be to feel the vibration of the acceleration from a car, which can become stronger or weaker depending on the car's gear shift and its location on the track. If the number of rotation or the curve position is taken into account, it might feel more real even if the mentioned G-force are missing. A horror game in which you can feel your own heartbeat in your left chest before you get cut through a hard vibrating jump scare in your back or chest area would be certainly provide even more immersion. The non-native experiences where the audio is simply tapped and output as vibration feel nice, but not so nice for many titles. It kinda feels weird. The bHaptics hardware recognizes multiple audio tracks and their frequencies, but not their corresponding directions unless the game supports 5.1 surround sound. This means that the West will always vibrate monotonously at the same stereo sound frequencies and will not produce desired effects as you would expect it from a native experience. Supported games. The number of supported games is currently still limited because the bHaptics West is not yet fully integrated into the VR market. The reason for this are the current developer companies who barely dare to get hold of the product in order to integrate it into their VR experiences. In addition, the level of awareness of bHaptics is not yet on the same level with VR glasses. bHaptics is very aware of this fact and therefore intensively addresses various VR studios who want to equip their VR experience with more immersion, and this already with success, because there are already some well-known VR titles which support the West recently. Furthermore, there are currently works on unpublished and published games which will also provide support for the haptic equipment. Among them there are some VR blockbusters which you might know very well, but due to NDA reasons I'm not allowed to name them. You will find future videos about it on this channel soon. To give you an impression of how VR games with bHaptics feel, I want to mention a few worth titles which I don't want to keep from you. Half-Life Alyx. It's almost too good to be true, and yet Half-Life Alyx has received native support for the bHaptics West. All firearms are reflected with different feedback on your arm and shoulder, shots from the combines got impact on your chest related to the shot direction, and if head crabs jump at your face, this feels absolutely incredible and causes slightly panic. The same goes for barnacles hanging from the ceiling, which makes you feel like they have their tongue wrapped around your upper body while they greedily pull you up to their gullet. A medkit station or a syringe may let you feel the power around your upper body, and explosions will also give you the respective blast. Thanks to the mod by Shizov, you will be able to play Half-Life Alyx with complete immersion. Once you play this game with bHaptics, you don't want to go back to normal. Skyrim VR. Skyrim VR offers a variety of effects that let you experience the game in the highest immersion. Among other things, the execution of a dragon scream feels like it comes directly from the stomach. The absorption of the dragon souls makes the upper body shine with vibration in the chest and hips. If you are hit by an arrow, the hit zone is recognized at the right place, which becomes noticeable by a pointy vibration impact. If you get hit by swords, you may feel cuts at the respective body part and the vibration feels stronger. Bites from wolves feel different and cause a scary moment if they are perceived from the ambush. The length of the effects are adapted to their meaning. When you're taking a drink, for example, the motors vibrate in circular motion around the upper body and go out with increasingly softer vibrations until there's nothing left in the potion. When it rains, you can feel the clapping drops on your vest, and in the water you can feel the flow around the waist. All in all, Skyrim VR offers one of the best haptic experiences I've had and sets the standard for future bHaptic games. Fallout 4 VR. Fallout 4 VR feels similar to Skyrim VR with the West because there are many identical gameplay elements. You may feel weapon recoils near the shoulder, and the VATS mode lets you experience all effects in slow motion style as long as it is activated. The heartbeat when low health as well as the eating of food can be felt independently. If the character is dehydrated or suffering from an infection, it will get reflected on the head or the vest. In addition, the different animals are perceived differently by bites or claws from the respective direction and depending on their strength. Acid rain can also be felt on the vest and its accessories, and entering, ejecting, running and sprinting with the power armor is correctly reproduced. Like Skyrim VR, Fallout 4 VR offers a very immersive experience thanks to its haptic properties and shows which element must be highlighted in order to enjoy a virtual reality properly. Thrill of the fight. The thrill of the fight is made for the bHaptics hardware. Both the vest and the accessories, except for the foot straps, are supported natively by the Oculus Quest and the PC VR glasses. Jabs can be felt on the gloves, uppercuts can be felt on the face, and other punches from the opponent hit the upper body. Boxing never felt so good in VR, and if you have already fallen in love with this game without the vest, you will love this game with bHaptics because the immersion raises the game to a whole new level. Apex Construct. Apex Construct has also received native support for the vest and offers even more intensive immersion than previously perceived. The energy beam hits by the dreaded machines are detected around the body and in the face. Energy souls that are absorbed after a destroyed opponent are reproduced with bubbling effects on the upper body. The same effect also applies to health cans that can be picked up in the game. In addition, the arrow bow, which is connected to the bracers, allows you to cock and fire more realistically and makes you feel like you're trying hard in battle. One or the other effect, like teleporting or the operation of an elevator, could have been also integrated into the game and are missing, but all in all, Apex Construct offers a haptic standard you would wish for any action game. Death Horizon Reloaded. With Death Horizon Reloaded on the Oculus Quest, every fan of horror shooters will love it. Not only because the game provides a graphical update, but because the immersion is now increased with bHaptics. Every single bite or grip of a zombie can be felt from all directions. The acid spit by the zombie girls can be felt on the arms, around the upper body, in your face, and this is really awesome. In addition, the recoil of the firearms will not only reflect it to the touch controllers but also to the arms. Besides that, the heartbeat pulsates in the chest if you are at low health. Medkits provide a pulsating energy boost to the body. If you don't even wince during this game, you definitely don't have any nerves on your skin. In summary, Death Horizon Reloaded feels exactly as you would expect it from a horror shooter with bHaptics. Okay, let's come to the conclusion. In most VR games, the influences on your own character are reproduced with visual or acoustic effects. This includes a red color field of view with black vignettes in case of damage, or a loud breathing character with numb heartbeat sounds on low health. At least with the bHaptics vest, a part of this is no longer necessary because the effects are more realistic presented. Every game that is natively supported simply feels even better, no matter how much the influences for the vest have been absorbed. When asking whether it would be worthwhile for the average consumer to buy the vest, I would have to ask the counter question with how much immersion does the player want to venture into the virtual world and what would he be willing to pay for it. At the moment, the vest and the additional equipment is still at a high priced level and is rather aimed to VR enthusiasts who'd like to spend more money into VR equipment. Also, the number of supported games is not yet convincing, although the already mentioned games do a very good job in terms of haptics. If the price should decrease in the future and the number of games for the vest should increase, then one or the other VR user will be able to spend more for VR equipment and possibly decide to purchase the vest. Me, for my part, I'm enthusiastic about the haptic hardware because A, with a minimum of weight, it gives me this impression to become that person who physically feels what he's doing in the VR world instead of just seeing things, and B, the vest is very easy to put it on in terms of comfort and very comfortable to wear. Any thoughts about struggling by putting on an extra piece of clothing for each VR session is not in my mind, because within seconds you are suited up, and this without any cables. In conjunction with the Oculus Quest, it becomes the perfect mix between a visual and a haptic VR experience.